Hello friends, this is Sumita Gupta, Assistant Professor, KC College of Engineering and Management Studies and Research, Thane. Welcome you all for the fourth lecture of EDC, that is Jenner diode. Today we will cover first of all breakdowns, avalanche breakdown, Jenner breakdown, then Jenner diode IV characteristics. After that we will learn how Jenner diode works as a voltage regulator, what are its applications. So first of all, we will start from the breakdown. There are two breakdown concepts, avalanche breakdown and the Jenner breakdown. So first of all, if you remember in the last lecture, we have covered the working of PN junction diode. And in PN junction diode, it was very clear during forward bias, depletion region reduces and current start to flow. But in reverse bias, depletion region increases and there is no current. Only current flows due to minority carriers. Okay. So a Jenner diode is also like the PN junction diode in the case of forward bias. But in the reverse bias, see. So first of all, we will look out the avalanche breakdown. Okay. Now understand during reverse bias, depletion region increases and some current flows due to minority carriers. So only minority carriers are allowed to flow across this depletion region. So minority carriers, if you remember the concept of semiconductors, if suddenly temperature increases or some atom absorb heat from the environment, then what will happen? Any electrons can move and it becomes a free electron, and at the place of electron holes created, that is called electron hole pair generated, and those electrons and holes are undesirable or called minority carriers. Okay, so in p-type semiconductor, majority carriers are holes and minority carriers are electrons. Same with the case of n-type, majority carriers are electrons and minority carriers are holes. So what will happen during negative bias? It will increase this voltage. These minority carriers get a very high energy, very high kinetic energy. So this will move with a high speed. When these electrons enter to the depletion region, then they will collide with the stationary atom. And when they collide with the stationary atom, electron hole pair generate. Now understand this concept again. These are the free electrons. Suppose this is your free electron, okay, and we are applying the reverse bias here, okay, and by this free electron gains a high kinetic energy. Now with this high kinetic energy, this electron is coming in this region and it is colliding with a stationary atom, means it can collide with any of a stationary atom. When it collide with any of a stationary atom, what will happen? A electron hole pair generates. So when this one electron collide with one atom and one electron hole pair generate, so now becomes two electrons. Again these two electrons collide with another stationary atom, then another two more electrons generated by both of these two electrons. So from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8 electrons are generating. So this is called carrier multiplication or avalanche multiplication. Again, I'm repeating, when these minority carriers electrons get a sufficient high kinetic energy and it will move in the depletion region, it will collide with the stationary atom and loses its some energy to it. When it collide with the stationary atom, another electron holes will generate. Then another electron holes, then they will collide with the another stationary atom, then more electrons will generate. And this is done in this way: 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. So due to this multiplication, it is called avalanche multiplication. So multiple electrons are generating and the current flows due to these carriers. This is called avalanche breakdown. Avalanche breakdown happens due to this multiplication. Okay, so this was the concept for the avalanche breakdown. Next concept is our Jenner breakdown. Now think that what is the difference between avalanche and Jenner. In Jenner breakdown, the doping level of P and N is very high. So due to this high doping level, the depletion region is very narrow, means thickness is very low. And since if you understand the electric field due to this thickness is proportional to inversely proportional to the this thickness, then E proportional to 1 upon D. Then what will happen if D is very less, then E is very high. So electric field across this region is very, very high. So what happened due to this electric field? Whatever the stationary atoms are here, okay? If you remember, these are the stationary atoms. In a stationary atom, they are balanced electrons in the outer cell. So when this electric field is very, very high, all the valence electrons comes out of the outer cell and moves here. So now a lot of carriers, electrons are here, and due to those carriers, currents start to flow. So what happening in this case? In this case, the carriers are due to electric field, and in the avalanche due to kinetic energy. That is the main difference. In the case of avalanche breakdown, whatever happened due to the high speed of this magnetic carriers, due to this kinetic energy, they are colliding with the stationary atom, then the electron was generated. But in this case, due to the high electric field, the electrons comes out of the valence band. Okay, this is called Zener breakdown. Okay, so now the carriers are generating due to high electric field, and the last case it was generating due to the multiplication. So both effects are comes into the case of Zener diode. Now come to the Zener diode. Zener diode also called as breakdown diode. Okay, Zener diode also called as breakdown diode. It is different from silicon PN junction diode in the case of reverse bias condition only. In the forward bias, everything is same, so it is not. I will not mention here. Forward bias characteristics will be same. Now, main is in the condition of the reverse bias. Okay. So in reverse bias, there are two types of breakdown. The voltage at which breakdown starts is called breakdown voltage. Okay. The voltage at which breakdown starts, breakdown voltage, and that depends on the value of this breakdown voltage. There are two types, Zener and avalanche. Up to 6 volt, it is comes in under condition of Zener breakdown. After 6 volt, it is avalanche breakdown. Okay. So Zener diode is especially designed for the reverse bias condition. So now this is the condition of Zener diode, means Zener diode works in only reverse bias, but what is the use of the Zener diode? So that comes in the under the next category, Zener diode as a voltage regulator. See, this is the block diagram of power supply that I have taken from alporus.com. All the diagrams I have taken from the Google or either from the book, just to explain the topic in clear manner. So this is the diagram of the power supply. If you remember, the first there is transformer, step down transformer, then the rectifier. So our normal PN junction diode behave like a rectifier. What is the role of rectifier? To convert this AC signal to DC. Okay. Now after rectifier, there are lots of ripples in the output. So smoothing filters, that is a combination of inductance, capacitance. So smoothing filter are used to filter out those ripples. But what is the role of regulator? Means whatever the variation of the input supply, there should be constant output voltage. For example, 5 volt, 10 volt, whatever you want. If you want constant output voltage, then a regulator is required. So what is the purpose of regulator? Whatever the unstable voltage, whatever the variation the input voltage, the output should be constant or output should be stable. So our Zener diode behave like a regulator. And how? See this. This is the symbol of Zener diode. This is the load resistance, and this is your series resistance. So what a role of Zener diode is maintaining constant voltage as well as current across this load. Means the load connected in parallel with Zener diode. The role of the diode is to maintain the constant voltage across the load. Okay, now what is the role of this RS and IS? In short, in Zener diode, there are two types of current, minimum current and maximum current. So the current IS which is going through this, it should be C. It should be not very high, not very low. Why? First of all, for the proper designing of the regulator, we should know what is the range of the unregulated input voltage and what desired output we want. Simply, what is the input and what output we want, and what is the maximum load current we require. Now the value of RS must be small enough, means value of RS must be small enough to keep Zener diode in reverse bias, because in forward bias no matter, it is in forward bias it's like a simple PN junction diode, but for regulation option we want to Zener diode in the reverse bias condition. So value of RS should be as minimum to keep in reverse bias, but it should not be as large so that it can damage this Zener diode. So its value should be properly designed, so it will keep Zener diode in reverse bias and it will maintain the maximum current. So that is okay. Now we should know what is the maximum current across the Zener diode. So first of all, see the condition IS. This IS is flowing in IZ and IL. So this IS current is equals to IZ plus IA. So this IS is equals to IZ plus IA. So minimum of, current of Zener diode is always there in the given data sheet. Okay. Now how to calculate Vs? So if we'll apply the KBL here, so what will the equation here? It will be Vin minus Vs minus Vz equals to 0. From here, if you will calculate the value of Vs, the value of Vs will be Vin minus Vz. The value of Vs equals to Vin minus Vz. Okay. The value of R will be Vs by Is. The for minimum it is Vs by Is, where Is is calculated with minimum value. But for maximum value Vs by Is, but that Is will be calculated by the maximum value. Okay. So remember these two things will keep in mind. Minimum value will be given by the data sheet, but maximum value will calculate by the power rating. Okay. Maximum current across the diode will be calculated by maximum power rating of the Zener diode divided by the Zener voltage. So that's why by keeping in this, these points in the mind, we have to design the Zener diode. For example, there is a numerical, a 5 volt stabilized power supply is required to be produced from 12 volt DC power supply input source. Maximum power rating PZ of Zener diode is 2 watt, and we have to calculate the maximum current through the Zener diode and the value of resistance RS. So keep in mind 5 volt is your output, 12 volt is your input voltage. Okay. And the power rating is 2 watt. Okay. So first of all, if you remember the last equation, by power rating, you can calculate the Zener current, maximum Zener current. So maximum Zener current is power rating divided by Zener voltage. So power rating is given 2 watt. Zener voltage means output voltage 5. So this is your maximum current. 2 volt by 5 volt is 400 milliampere. Now minimum value of series resistance, you know very well, Rs equals to Vs minus Vz upon Iz. The value of series resistance will be given by the maximum Zener current. Okay, 12 minus 5 by 400 is 17.5 ohm. And the load current is Zener voltage divided by load resistance. So this is your load current, and this is the equation. Is equals to Iz plus IL. From that equation, you can calculate the Zener current. Iz equals to Is minus IL. This is not the maximum Zener current. This is the minimum Zener current. So 400 minus 5. This is 395 milliampere. It's not minimum current. It's the current at full load. Zener current at full load. So we have to calculate this by Is minus IL. Is is 400 milliampere. That is your maximum Zener current minus your load current. So this is your Zener current at full load. Okay. So these was the example. The application is voltage stabilizer, meter protection, wave shaping circuit, switching application. So thank you so much. Keep sharing. Thank you.